Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Gary here. I gotta jump up on my soapbox here. There's sometimes, before I get started today, sometimes I'll be thinking to myself as I'm watching TV at night or a movie or what have you on something on Amazon Prime. I love doing that shit because you get to see all kinds of movies and documentaries, mostly movies. I'm thinking to myself, I just did a couple episodes last week. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it in my mind somewhere to do another one on something else. And then I wake up in the morning, I think, I'll do this one. That's where my mind operates. I mean, if you knew anybody that ever worked with me, they'd say, God, that guy Gary won't shut the fuck up. He just runs his mouth and runs his mouth and runs and runs and runs his mouth. Guy I worked with years ago said, Gary, when you retire someday, you ought to find a job where you just talk a lot. Well, this is my job, and I'm not getting paid for it. And I probably won't ever ask anyone to pay me for any of this bullshit. Why? I'm having too much fun doing it for free. Anyways, I'm already wealthy. I don't need fucking anymore. I don't need the money. I already got the cash. That's a joke if you want, but anyway. Excuse me. So today's topic is simple. You heard this earlier this summer, you heard about that woman that got swallowed up by a killer whale in a pool. I don't know her name. I don't know enough of the details. All I know is that her body was bitten in half or something like that by this giant killer whale in a pool in front of all these fans and an audience somewhere. Whether it be like a SeaWorld or something like that. When people are like, oh my God, it was so horrible. It was so horrible she got eaten by a killer whale. Which brings me to my topic today. I think the people that embrace hanging out with the wild and going into the wild with cameras and swimming in the water with sharks and killer whales and going into the rivers with pythons and alligators and water moccasins and going into the Pacific Northwest into coming in contact with brown bears and going to Alaska and going to the polar bears. Oh, those are all liberal-minded thinking people. These are tree huggers, mind you. They gotta be. I'm a conservative-minded individual. There's no fucking way on God's green earth you'll catch me in a pool with a killer whale, an orca, that weighs several tons. Oh, Gary, just swim around. We'll give you these flappers on your feet. You can swim around like a little fish. They won't know you're like a little fishy. And then when they come along, grab the dorsal fin, and they'll drag you underwater, and then you just leap out of the water, and the fans will go, yay, yay, look, and splash down the water. Come on, come the fuck on. Really? So she gets bitten in half. A surprise, really? People and the news made a big deal out of it, and the fans and the news made a big deal out of it. They dramatized the loss. It was a horrible loss. This young woman spent her whole adult life, in the pool with this giant orca that she trusted, and the orca trusted her. Bullshit. It's a wild creature. Into the wild we go. Into the wild we go. Hey, into the wild we go. Hey, really? That's why they call them wild animals. So she spent her whole adult life with this orca. Oh, building the trust, the bond, only to be eaten in two pieces or tear your leg off or whatever that orca did to her. Years later, in the pool, in front of people. See, it always amazes me when I watch. Like I was flipping through some YouTube channels yesterday. I was bored. I was done with all my home. Being retired, I got an itinerary of things I do throughout the day. And when I'm done with those things, when it fills up about 5 or 6 hours of that, then I figured out, now I'm going to relax on the couch, be a couch potato, watch YouTube videos. I was watching these divers. This was somewhere, I don't know where it was, one of the oceans. And somebody was filming on their camera underwater. There was 6 or 7 other divers with masks on, and you could hear the guy like that, and he's filming everything, and all of a sudden enter the picture 2 sharks. This I love this shit. In case you haven't discovered by now, I'm twisted. I love this shit. Now you're in their house. One shark is communicating with the other, and they're swimming along. They're saying, "Are these people fucking stupid?" And the other shark goes, "I don't know, but they look like pretty tasty snacks." And then the other shark goes, "They're pretty fucking stupid. Look at the bubbles coming out the top of their head. That must be oxygen. Not for long, motherfucker." And so these sharks are cruising along underwater, and the guy who's filming it's going, and this one shark comes down and does a pass. Now these divers, you can see in the video he's doing, they're freaking out. They're freaking out. They're starting to move a little faster. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Now we have the one diver he just did a pass on. The shark goes around, goes out of the picture, out of the frame, and comes back and gets his leg. Snags his leg with his teeth. And you could hear the guy, he's got his leg. You could hear go, roar, roar. You could hear it underwater. And I'm thinking, yeah! I'm watching this. I'm going, oh, fuck yeah, man. Show more, show more. Of course they don't. But that's bullshit. If you're going to go into the wild, I want to see all of it. I want to see the blood in the water. I want to see the leg dangling. I want to see the guy bleed out. And I want to see the other shark go in there and take him out. Gary, people say, Gary, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with me. If you're stupid enough, liberal-minded thinking, oh, it's nature. Embrace it. Honey, I'm going to work. Sidestep. Honey, I'm going to work. I'll be back by 8 o'clock tonight. What are you doing today, honey? Well, I'm going to go swim. I'm going to go down and swim with sharks around the coral reef. Yeah, we're going to swim with sharks. Yeah, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have some beers on top of the boat. We're going to dive down there, blah, 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 and we're going to swim with sharks. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a great time. I'll be home later, honey. Yeah, what are we having for dinner tonight? Blah, blah, blah. We're going to blah, blah, blah. Liberal-minded thinking. Oh, I'm going to swim with sharks. It's wonderful. It's nature. Pardon me. Fast forwards 5 hours where his leg is bitten in half to the knee. Oh, fucking was loving it. And you can hear him screaming underwater. And then the guy filming it, the camera starts doing this because he's flipping out. He's thinking, how the fuck am I going to get out of the water? And then after the one shark bites his leg, and you can see blood explode from the scene. And then they fuzz out the screen. Of course. They edit the screen. Why? All right. But they get bitten in half by a shark. And then the screen goes blank because they don't want to film anymore. The only thing these fuckers are doing is getting out of the water as fast as they can. Well, what happens when there's blood in the water? Not one shark, but there was 2 sharks there. How many more sharks are going to show up? And it doesn't have to be a great white shark. Where if it was a great white shark, it'd have bit him clean in half. It would have swallowed him whole. You ever seen the size of a fucking great white? 21 feet. I think the largest recorded one was in Australia. It's like 21 to 24 footer. That's over a ton. Swallow you fucking whole. How many people out there have seen these other ones? I'm going to downshift. How many people out there have watched these videos where people are out in the wilderness? I've seen them a ton of times. These are all the liberal-minded thinkers. They're out there in the wild, the Pacific Northwest. 2 people walking along, and someone else with a camera. They're filming these 2 people walking along, and they're environmentalists. They got their cameras over their shoulders. They got their hats on. They got their outdoor boots. They're in the Pacific Northwest, in the middle of fucking nowhere. What lives up there? Oh, we have wolves, but they're nocturnal creatures. Well, no, not so. They'll hunt during the day, but mostly at night. You got moose. You got mountain lions. Rip your face off. But what's the biggest one up in the Pacific Northwest? the brown bear, i.e. the grizzly bear. Standing on its hind legs will be 25 feet tall. Can you imagine? Can you imagine pissing one of those suckers off? You might as well just kiss your ass goodbye, because one swipe, your head's down the ground. They got claws on them. You look at some of these videos. They got claws on them 6 inches long per claw. My buddy Roger got me really interested in the brown bear, the grizzly bear, years ago. And he's a nature guy. He's outside, but he's a conservative guy. So there are the passes. Occasionally you'll see a conservative-minded person hunting. But he's not stupid enough to tramps around like these outdoorsmen and the one woman and one guy. I know I'm jumping around. I jump around a lot. Roger used to say, Gary, you can't outrun, outswim, or outclimb a bear. And I thought about that when he said that. And I said, that's a scary fucking thought. So if you're out in the wild with one other person, the only chances you got is running faster than the other person. And even after the bear gets a hold of the person that's behind you and mauls the shit out of them, they're going to find you. Hello? You're in their house. It's like the people that were diving in the ocean with the sharks. You're in their house. So when you say, oh, I want to be with nature. I want to be one with nature. Oh, I want to be one with nature. I'm going to swim in the oceans. Oh, yes. The ocean's blue. Yes. Romantic. Yes. I want to be in nature. Oh, I want to walk amongst the bears. Oh, yes. And the mountain lions. I want to be in the rivers, the Mississippi, the grand Mississippi River. And I want to be around water moccasins and boa constrictors and alligators and crocodiles. Yes. You get what you get, motherfucker. A bear rips your face off? Oops. Oops. Person with the camera's taking pictures while the guy's getting his face ripped off, getting mauled. My buddy Roger said, when a bear takes you down, he said, you'd be better off getting mauled by a tiger. Like a Siberian tiger or a lion. Because what Roger told me is they go for the throat and they kill you right away. Can you imagine the fangs on a tiger? You look at those things. If you do a little research and look at the anatomy of a Siberian tiger, my God, they're solid muscle. People say, oh, the grizzly bear and the polar bear, they're such furry, the polar bear, oh, they're furry creatures. You know who fucking made them think that they're furry? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola would have these commercials over Christmas time with the polar bears. Oh, the baby polar bear, and they're all holding Coca-Cola and drinking it. Dee 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 dee. Christmas carols and the polar bears singing and dancing. They're apex predators of the wild. Well, of Alaska. And the grizzly and the brown bear, they're the apex predator of the Pacific Northwest. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? The killer whale and the great white shark, the white shark, that's the apex predator of the ocean. Nobody fucks with the great white shark. Nobody. When there's a dead whale in the water and all these sharks are feeding on it, I'm going to go back to the bear in a minute. They're all feeding on this dead whale. I've seen documentaries of this shit. They all of a sudden take off. I've seen this shit happen. All these sharks, these different species of sharks are feeding on this dead whale in the water. And then all of a sudden, they disperse. And then what comes cruising in? A great white. Great white's coming to eat from the table. Get the fuck out of his way. Why? Because he's the apex predator. I am the shit. I'm a bad motherfucker. Get out of my way. I'm going to eat. And when he's done eating, all the other fucking peasants go in there. But I mean, people are out in the wild. I know I had sidetracked. I got a lot of content here, and my mind gets going. You guys, people that know my channel, they understand Gary's. Don't get up and get a cup of coffee in the middle of one of Gary's programs because he shifts gears constantly. I tell you, my mind works that way. I apologize. I really do, but I'm not going to change now. I'm just the way I'm wired. So the people are going out to the wild with their cameras and their little vests on. You see camera rolls in their pockets, and they're walking along. They're walking along, and they see a brown bear across the river. Well, the brown bear sees them. And if the brown bear is a mama and they have their cubs nearby, you might as well just kiss your ass goodbye. Because according to my buddy Roger, if the mama bear has cubs near her and you're within 100 feet, you're a threat. And that bear will rip your face off. Kill you. Because they don't understand the language. They don't know that you're just there to take pictures of them. You don't know. They don't know if you're a conservationist, if you're an environmentalist. They don't know about all that. All they know is that you're near their cubs. This is hard truth. All that mother knows, the mama bear, is you're near their cubs, her cubs, and they're going to come in there and rip your face off. Literally rip your fucking face off. Because you're into the wild, see. Oh, let's go to the wild. Let's go into the wild and share our pictures and our videos. I wonder how many videos aren't taken because both the camera person and the people they were filming were both mauled to death in the wild. You know that shit happens. Man, I would love to see that. I know, I'm twisted. But I was a meat cutter for a living. You know, I cut meat for a living. I saw all kinds of blood. I've seen all kinds of shit. Nothing bothers me. I'm tainted. I'm fucking tainted, man. But that's what I get, when people say, oh, well, it's just so horrible. It's like that guy, the croc hunter. What was his name? The Australian guy. I forget his name now. It's been so long. But he died at the hands of a stingray, I believe. It was God that got him. A stingray got prongs in him and killed him. What was that guy's name? If you remember his name, I'm going to go look it up when I get off this show. But Jake, get that croc. I'm going to get the croc and hold him down and then put my arms around the croc's head and hold him down because once you get the bite down, he can't lift up real fast or very strong. But once he comes down on you, the croc gets a hold of your arm, shakes you around, does a death roll, and you're dead. The croc. What is he saying that when he got to heaven? Well, the croc got a hold of me. In this case, it was the stingray got a hold of me. So I have no sympathy. I know, Gary, how can you be so insensitive? How can you be so insensitive? Well, you go into their house. You go into the great white's house. You go into the thrasher shark, the nurse shark, the bull shark. The bull shark's a bad motherfucker. If you've ever read about sharks, the bull shark will fuck you up. The thrasher shark, the great white shark, the bluefin, the blacktail shark. I used to know all of them. There's over 100 species. I couldn't have possibly known. But I did a lot of reading and stuff on sharks. All of them will mess you up in the water. All of them will take a bite out of you. And once blood's in the water, guess what? It's a smorgasbord. You're going to get eaten alive by a shark. And you'd be screaming the whole way, oh my God, I'm getting eaten alive. Honey, it doesn't look like I'm going to make it for dinner tonight. I'm getting eaten alive. My arm's completely ripped off and my leg's gone. You're going to be married to half a guy here. They're going to try to sew me back together. I'm going to be like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz, They're going to try to put me back together here. Because I wanted to go into the wild. Oh, God. So, I got to shorten this thing up. This thing's running too long. But you get the idea of what I'm saying. You go into the wild. You risk everything. You risk your life. For what? So you can get a picture? You can snap a picture of, they're called wild animals for a reason. Because they're wild. They try to cap it. What do you do that? Try to put them in captivity. That's the word I was looking for. It's too early. They put them in captivity in zoos. Why do they have fences around them and cages? Why? Collective? Why? What's that? Because they're wild. You can put them in captivity, but guess what? They're still fucking wild. You walk into one of the cages, they're going to rip you off. They're going to rip your head off. Why? But why? Because they're wild. So I love it. I think they should have a reality show. Like that show Survivor that's been going on for like 20 years now. They ought to have a show called Into the Wild. And they take contestants. They say 20 contestants. I know this is off the left field wall, but I got to say it before I get off this program. They take 20 contestants that volunteer for this show. And the one that comes out alive wins $100, wins $1 million. And they film live filming of these people in the wild. Swimming in the wild, Pacific Northwest, and the Amazon. And one by one they get picked up. Getting ripped down under the surface of the water because sharks got you and swallowing you whole. That would be a great reality TV show, wouldn't it? I know, God, Gary, your mind is gone. I don't give a fuck. I think I speak from the real world. As I said in my earlier episodes, I think what most people think, I say. How many people saw that woman get bitten in half this year by the orca whale? And we're thinking, well, she was in the water with a wild animal. No, they don't think like that, but I say it. See, I know I'm horrible. I'm horrible. But I'm a nice guy. I just twisted. All right, this show's over. I gotta go walk. It's still as cold as tits here today, so I wanted to wait for it to warm up a few degrees before I go outside. I'm a pussy. I don't want to layer up too much. Anyway, I'm out of here. Hope you guys have a great week, whatever's left of it. Hope you enjoy my contents. Keep on stopping by if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. There's other people out there that are less twisted as I am. Anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stay out of the wild. Peace out.